Christian XC1 review covering Las Vegas and the world. We welcome back one of our favorite guests, Archie Luxury, Paul Pluta, the man who knows the luxury wristwatch market better than anybody. Famed director Francis Ford Coppola of The Godfather fame is selling off a watch for $1 million. The Coppola FFC is what it's called. Paul is going to tell us all about the watch, why it's special if he thinks it's special, and, what is the real value of this thing? Paul, thank you so much for joining us today on C1 Review. How's everything going?
Hello! Everything is fantastic. Everything is fantastic, and I am so happy to be here with you, Chris. Chris, I love Francis Coppola. What a talented man. I remember he did some Louis Vuitton advertisements sitting on the in the jungle. Talented, fantastic director. What went wrong? What went wrong, Chris? What went wrong? And the reason I say that is, Chris, Hollywood is a brutal place. You put money into a movie, and it can be a dud. The big thing is, it's not the fact that this watch will sell for over $1 million. Actually, I think $1 million is probably a very low estimate. Okay, because let's look at this piece. It's a piece unique. For starters, it's an FP jaune. FP jaune. And FP jaune is a very, very specialized maker. It's a very small maker. They make beautiful pieces. It's different. Like a Patek Philippe is like your Rolls Royce. FP jaune is kind of like a Bristol, handmade, kind of specialty. You know what I mean? It's a very much smaller scale, smaller production run, different sort of genre. And this watch here, I mean, let's be honest there. It is, I never seen anything like it. We're talking about the piece here. This here is a piece which it uses a human hand to tell. It's just so it's kind of like a Karl Lagerfeld type of thing, you know how he had the black glasses and the black gloves, and it's the kind of the same thing. But I mean, this watch here, FP jaune, is a very, very serious maker. And
how many units do they make a year? Not many, right? They only make a couple for very rich customers, no?
Look, FP jaune itself, they do sell. They do make they make more than a few. I think it's about 1,000 pieces a year. Okay, so when you look at a brand like Patek, you're talking 50, 60, 70,000 pieces. Rolex, of course, is a million pieces. But what makes this piece so special is the fact that it was specially designed. It's a one of a kind. It's one of a kind, created specifically for Coppola. And I've never seen anything like it. I think this sort of piece here will probably sell for a couple $1 million. Okay, I got to be honest with you. This is so unique. FP jaune is very much flavor of the month. They have many. There are many seriously rich people who collect FP jaunes. Now, this watch itself was also assembled by Francis Ford Coppola personally. It's just such a unique piece. It's got his name on the back of it. Now, you know what happened. You know why he's selling this stuff off, don't you?
Well, because, listen, he took a chance on a movie he was trying to get made for almost 20 years. The movie didn't do very well. But here's my response to you, and this is what I have to say to you, and maybe you'll understand this, right? The man is in his 80s, and he's had all these great movies, and he wanted to do something he loved, and he's not going to be on the street just because he made a movie that maybe didn't financially do as well as he hoped. Yes, he's got to sell off some assets, but here's my response to you at the end of the day. The man took a shot in the later years of his life. I think that's admirable. No?
Very admirable indeed. And I mean, Howard Hughes did similar things. Howard Hughes, they all thought he was insane, but he was a bit of a genius. Howard Hughes. It's kind of the funny thing is, I'm doing some research when you sent me this article. He's Nicolas Cage is related to him. Did you know that?
The whole connection to all those people.
Yeah. And I mean, look, I think it's one of these things. He's regarded as one of the most influential filmmakers, one of the greatest, and unfortunately, you can make a great film and it can be a dud. I mean, that is just unfortunately how life is. I think it takes balls to really push the envelope, and you know what? Sometimes these things happen, but I must say, it is really, really, this watch here is so unique. I'd be surprised if it doesn't go for $2 or $3 million. It's so unique. FP Journe is a very, very special brand, okay? This is not just any brand. FP Journe is a brand renowned for its quality, and it's a brand known for its attention to detail, the finishing. They are very, very special brands. FP Journe has got the Chronometer de Bleu, which is that's the very hot, highly sought after. It was actually an entry-level watch, believe it or not. Now they sell for multiples of the retail price. FP Journe itself is a very special brand. So this is a one-off piece. I mean, this is so unique. This is kind of like, it's up there with a Patek, a customized Patek for a special celebrity or somebody famous. And I think it's very sad that he's forced to part with. I don't think he wants to part with it. Let's be completely honest. But, it's one of these things. Do the possessions own you, or do you own the possessions? I recently downsized quite a number of watches myself. Why did I do that? Do I hate watches? No. The economic times, Chris. The economic times aren't what they used to be. So you have to move with the market. I mean, when things are tight, you got to make sacrifices. And let's be honest, if you have to sell a few watches off, the world is not terrible. And the thing is this, let's be honest, by selling these off at a later age, do you realize he's really leaving? They're going to collectors who really value them. That's what they're doing. So if he would have left them to family members, maybe they wouldn't appreciate them. But these here go to the market, and they get a chance to go with people who really, really admire the work of FP Journe, and also who are a fan of himself. So, to be totally honest with you, this watch itself is such a unique piece. It's so unique how it does things. And FP Journe is not a brand known for making tacky, or there's not many. They don't really do this for normal people. They don't really. If any celebrity would go in now and say, I want this, they'd tell you to get stuffed. This is really right place, right time. He got something special, and unfortunately, he's had to sell. He's also put a number of other watches up there. There's other watches he's putting up for sale. There's some amazing some other genres that he's also putting up. There's a Patek Philippe. Like I used to, believe it or not, there's actually a Patek that I sold recently. A Patek 5130G, the world time. I sold mine to clear some debts. And I've got to be honest with you, this is the whole thing. It's like this watch, you say, wow, $1 million, but hang on a minute. He put it's rumored over $100 million into the film. And when you look at it that scale, even if the watch made $5 million, it's still a big hole to plug. He's got some big holes to plug.
Yeah.
And
not to interrupt, but if you go look, and I look at all these different sources. Supposedly his net worth overall is $400 million. But as you know,
yes,
very rich people don't keep cash on hand like that. They have it tied up in lots of different areas, right?
Exactly.
So the thing of what it comes down to, here's my response to you at the end of the day, Paul. We're all different. We all have sentimental things. Do we want to end this world knowing that we have done the thing that we've tried to accomplish for 20 years, even though it may have not? By the way, he could still get some distribution deals on it. He can still make some other money back in other areas. He's always said that there's still opportunities. Movies don't just end forever. You can continue to find ways to make money off of them. Will he be able to recoup that whole $120 million? Probably not. But the point of what it comes down to at the end of the day is that obviously, here's my response to you. When you're in your 80s and you've enjoyed life, sometimes at some point, as you know, as you say, you've got to let things go. You got to move on, right? You got to move on to the next thing, right?
Exactly right. And I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, you think about it, this watch here is going to go up at auction, and it's going to go to people who really, really want it. And, you know, I agree with you. There's many things in life. You take a punt. Sometimes the punt doesn't work out. Okay, so what? He's still rich. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that's the important thing. It's I think this watch is very special. He's also selling some other FP Journes. He's got a resonance he's selling, which is absolutely incredible. That's an incredible watch.
Let me ask you. You know this better than anybody. Have you ever seen an FP Journe in person? I know you've seen a lot.
Yes, I have. I've handled a few. Actually, I recently went to Geneva for Watches and Wonders, and I actually went to they've got an FP Journe Michelin star restaurant in Geneva. I went there. Did you know the staff in the restaurant are given a watch to wear? They're given an FP Journe watch to wear. I actually held that.
Wow.
I also, when I was in Geneva, I went to the FP Journe boutique and I met Waco. That's the famous guy who is the owner of Rake magazine, Revolution watch magazine. I saw he was picking up a new Journe. The brand, I've got a few fans who've got Journes. They are incredible. And I've handled an FP Journe. I was almost offered a swap for my world time. This was a long time ago, 10 years ago, or maybe 8 years ago. And Journes themselves, incredible watches. Absolutely incredible. They are very, very collectible. They're a small market, and you've really they are beautiful. They're a very specialty, small niche maker, but the pieces that he got with his name on, Jesus, that's just impossible. In the Journe history, there aren't many things like that. And I really think Journe is up there with any of the greats. The workmanship is amazing. The attention to detail, that's the whole thing with them. Amazing pieces. Absolutely amazing. And he's also selling a few Pateks off. There's a few Pateks off. He's got a world time, which is exactly the same watch that I had, which I sold off due to financial reasons. Not that I didn't love the watch. I deeply loved the watch. And It's one of these things. You have beautiful things, and sometimes, you know what? There's a time and a place to sell them. And I think, you're very philosophical with it. You've got to be philosophical and say to yourself, you know what? Okay, maybe he backed the wrong horse, so to speak. He's backed the wrong horse. However, he's enjoyed these genres for a while. They've been released into the community, into the watch collecting guild there, and the legacy will live on.
I years ago sold an item to fund a trip, actually, or fund part of a trip, where I bought it very low and got a 5 times profit after holding onto that item for 3 or 4 years. It was in a different collector's arena. And the reality is sometimes, listen, I didn't have to sell it, but it was like, it's too good to pass up. Sometimes you got to sell high too. It's like, you got to realize how much is sentimental and how much is do you want to sell high. But let me ask you, so speaking of this, you'll be able to tell me this. FP Journe, right? What's the lowest I could get something like that for? What's the lowest price on an FP Journe? What's like the starting price for an FP Journe?
Look, FP Journes themselves are the least expensive model, I think, is the ladies. They do a ladies quartz. And they're about 30. I'll just check that. They're about the 30,000.
There you go. Like, what's a men's lowest price range? Love to know.
Good question. For Journes themselves there, you know what? They have a little table clock for about $6,000 secondhand. Does that
seem like a good deal or no, in your opinion?
Look, FP Journe is a great brand. FP Journes themselves there, you're looking at pricings. They jump from about, if you're just having a look at Chrono 24, 38,000. Actually, sorry, that's an auction. Sorry, that's not 38,000. That's a starting price. Cheapest sort of Journe here, 84,000. There's a FP Journe Sovereign in Hong Kong, 84,000 US.
Sounds about right. That is not a $15,000, $20,000 watch, which is a lot of money for a lot of people, but that's in more reach than $84,000. I mean, yeah, exactly. that just sums it up. Let me ask you, how much do you think somebody prominent having these watches adds to the value, like percentage-wise? If you were going to say, like, how much value do you think it's added to the watch just because of that alone?
That's actually a good question. I tell you something, when you look at a brand like Omega, where they have special limited editions, they run limited edition runs, you actually sometimes, the limited editions are so overplayed, people prefer the non-limited editions, and it can sort of work against it. But let's be honest there, with these celebrities, it is going to, the thing about this is that it's not just himself, it's a Journe collector. You got to have a Coppola fans. You've got two different genres there. It's a piece unique. It's not just Coppola. This is a piece unique. There is nothing else like it out there. It's not like a series of these. This is a one-off thing. It's so unique. As I said to you, I think it'll probably go for 2 to 3 million at least.
I look forward to seeing the auction price. So here's my question: is the best way to compare this to is like that we're an auction house with great art and we're bidding on a Da Vinci or a Picasso? Is that how you define this?
But it's almost up there. Like, there's been a few, like, put in perspective, Patek has had watches which they made in, say, a pink gold, where it was a period of time where they weren't making many pink golds, or they made a version in steel, a one-off in steel, astronomically more valuable. And I got to be honest with you, I think this watch here, he's a nice guy. I'm not really into celebrities or producers or things, but from what I've heard of the guy, he's made good movies. I liked his movies he's made there.
The Godfather, of course.
And obviously, it's like this. What happens if there's a Harvey Weinstein version comes out? What happens then? Is it kind of toxic, or is it become, it's kind of a double-edged sword with some of these celebrities? But with Coppola, look, I think he's a nice enough sort of guy. It's more the fact it's a piece unique. Like, it's so unique. It's not just a normal version with his name on the back. It's got that hand in the glove. It's so...
What do you think of the hand in the glove, honestly, as far as like adding to the dial? Do you think that that's cool? It's just different. It's unique. It's futuristic. Look, I mean, here's my question.
What a cool life.
Would you wear something like that?
Look, any FP Jean is worth wearing. The thing with it is that's amazing is that, could you imagine, it doesn't matter. It's, if you're a has-been, has-not, at least you had a stage where you had your name on an FP Jean. That's like having your name on a commercial plane,
Pretty incredible stuff.
FP Jean wouldn't do that now. You know what I mean? They really... They've got their market share. They can sell more watches than they can produce. They don't need to do anything for anybody. They have their own market there. And to be totally honest with you, you wouldn't get this now. They just would politely turn you down. It's such a unique thing. He was there at the right time. He was into watches, and it's a good brand. FP Jean is not a dog shit brand. This is a top collectible brand. It's one of the most desirable after Patek. A Jean is people often have one Jean in, they have a couple of Pateks and a Jean. That's kind of how a collection is. They are so revered. They're revered. And
okay, well, go ahead. Go finish.
It's just such a unique thing, and to have his name on it and he designed it. My God, it's not just a small little alteration. It's such a big step there.
Thank you, Paul. Okay, let's talk about a couple quick things.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. First, what's the update on your watch collection? Are we down to 4 pieces? Where are we?
We're down to 6 pieces. We're down to 6.
6 pieces.
We're down to 6. I got to tell you.
So you went from 8 to 6, or you added 2? What happened?
Actually, I had about 10. 10.
Okay, gotcha.
And look, what's happening in the watch market is, let me say this. The collectible watch market, I think the gravy train is coming to an end, okay? The collectibility on watches where you could buy things and they were safe hold investments. Look, they are still selling. They are still hugely desired. But I'll be honest with you, those fancy days where everything you bought increased in value, those days are over. Coming to an end. It's coming to an end. And for myself, I managed to get out of a few pieces. I actually sold about 100,000 Aussie dollars worth of stuff. And when I added up all the sales against what I paid for it, did you know I made $200? $200. And I was thanking Jesus that I didn't lose $10,000. And I say that's what's happened. The watch market, it is turning. And it's time. Look, in times like this, you know what? Get out where you can. Keep what you like and enjoy it. You've always got to remember with these watches, they are a bit of a ticking time bomb because you're going to have to service them. So you're looking at $1,000 minimum to service a decent brand watch. So if you've got 10 of them, you're looking at 10,000 plus. It's a lot of money. And I got to be honest with you, things are changing. I think it's now time, instead of being decadent and having the fancy, you say, okay, what do I really like? What do I get rid of? Get the cash flow in, reduce debts, get ready for the storm. And
I want to say this too, because I was going to make this point. Ready? I think the next then I think the next couple of years it's going to be very challenging for all kinds of collectors markets and things like that. The rich are always going to have their money and they're going to be able to buy whatever they want, and we know that. But here's what I'm going to tell you in this regard. I think as the next 12 to 18 months, my opinion, there's going to be a lot of deals to be had, of people who, if you really want something and you've got the cash, which a lot of people don't, there are going to be some deals to be had. Maybe you see a watch for $8,000 and maybe what, in a year, maybe it's $5,500, $5,000, no?
Yeah, I think it's definitely the case. What's happening is, where you're finding the difference is, you may not pick up a bargain, but it's the liquidity. If you went to a dealer to sell a watch, they would pay you a lot less because the transaction time is now a lot longer. That's the thing.
They have to sit on it longer.
You may not see it. Exactly. So, in my opinion there, I think it's, if you like something, of course, keep it. If it makes you happy and you can afford it, keep it. But unnecessary things, it's okay to get rid of them. And in Francis Coppola's case, hey, so what? He's 88. Does it really matter? Does it really matter? It's better to have had the legacy, the legend. I mean, his value and his worth is a lot more than a watch. I mean, if the biggest mistake in life you have is having to sell a watch in harder times, life ain't been so bad. Life hasn't been so bad.
He's 86, actually, and a one-of-a-kind watch, Paul, nonetheless.
Yep. But, that's life. Such is life.
Well, I'm going to ask you one last question, then we'll wrap up. In your opinion, if someone wants to sell a watch, is this the time to do it now? Should they not wait? The longer they wait, is it worse? Should they wait? I mean, if they really, again, everyone's situation is different, but let's say they really need the money. Is this the time to do it? Is that always the answer? What are your thoughts on that?
Look, it's always, I think myself, the watch market itself, the funny thing is that prices are going up for new inventory because you've got the tariffs, you've got the cost of production has gone up in the world. Things are costing more to produce than they did a couple of years ago. So you've got that at one end, and at the other end, the demand end, it is unfortunately it's becoming a tougher market. My honest opinion is, if luxury is something you buy with money you don't need back. Okay. So, I mean, you buy these things after you've got your house, your car, some investments. These are sort of things you buy as a gift to yourself. They shouldn't be part of your get rich scheme. And I think that's the problem. If you are highly leveraged and you've got these things, it's better to have things to sell than not have things to sell. But I personally think I wouldn't fire sale now, but I would actively try and sell. That's what I've done. I put a few pieces out there, and certain ones went, certain ones stayed. I'm keeping some of the steel, the less expensive pieces, because, it's not a lot of money. But some of the big pieces I have sold off because I want the money back. I want that money back to do other things. So I would say I wouldn't fire sale, but I would put feelers out there. And if you can get your money back, take it.
I agree with you 100%. Finally, Archie Luxury on YouTube. Tell everybody where they can find you as always. You still do 2 live shows a day?
Yes, I still do the live show. So Archie Lux, just type in Archie Luxury and Archie Luxury live stream, and you will find us on YouTube.
Are there any upcoming trips anywhere, Paul? Where have you been? I think that you went somewhere. Didn't you just go somewhere a couple months ago?
I came back from Hong Kong. I'm actually looking at a trip to Asia. I'm actually flying out On Wednesday, my time.
Singapore?
Somewhere else. I'll keep it a secret. But
Well, I hope
know
you have
what?
a good. Well, I hope you have a good time, and whoever you're meeting, tell them that they should get a bidding ID for the Francis Ford Coppola FB Jour, and you should be the one doing the bidding for them.
Exactly, Chris. That is the way to go there. And remember, Chris, I tell you one thing. I have actually sold watches. One of the things I've done is I've sold watches to have more travel. Experiences
Oh, I agree with you.
are worth so much more than possessions. I'll be honest
Oh,
with
I
you.
agree with you 100%.
I think, they can take possessions off you. They can steal them. They can damage them. They can impound them.
But they can't
Once
steal
you've
your
been on a
memories.
trip, you can't take those memories out of your brain.
Not steal those memories. They sure freaking cannot. Paul Pluta, Archie Luxury. Find him, Archie Luxury, on YouTube. Paul, as always, thank you so much for joining us today on CY Interview.
Thank you so much.